In the darkness of an old city, a mysterious auction house appeared, selling not just paintings but the souls of artists. When a desperate painter stumbled upon it, he had no idea that every win would come at a terrifying price. I had always been drawn to the world of art, but my passion had turned into an obsession. As a struggling artist, I spent my days in a cramped studio, surrounded by half-finished canvases and the lingering scent of turpentine. My dreams of recognition felt like distant stars, twinkling just out of reach. It was during one of my late-night internet searches for inspiration that I stumbled upon an advertisement for an auction house known only as The Last Auction. The name sent a shiver down my spine, but curiosity got the better of me. The auction was set to take place in an old, decrepit building on the outskirts of town. The website promised rare and unique pieces, each with a story that would captivate any art lover. I felt a strange pull toward it, as if the very essence of the place was calling to me. I decided to attend, hoping to find something that would reignite my creative spark. On the night of the auction, I arrived at the venue, my heart racing with anticipation. The building loomed before me, its cracked windows and peeling paint giving it an air of foreboding. As I stepped inside, I was greeted by the musty scent of aged wood and dust. The dimly lit room was filled with an eclectic mix of people, art enthusiasts, collectors, and a few curious onlookers like myself. The walls were adorned with paintings that seemed to whisper secrets, their colors vibrant yet haunting. I felt an inexplicable connection to the art, as if each piece held a fragment of a soul. My eyes were drawn to a large canvas at the far end of the room, shrouded in a heavy velvet curtain. It was the centerpiece of the auction, and I could sense the energy radiating from it. As the auctioneer, a tall man with a slick-back hairstyle and a sharp suit, took the stage, the atmosphere shifted. He welcomed us with a practiced smile, his voice smooth and enticing. "Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the last auction. Tonight, you will have the opportunity to acquire not just art, but the very essence of creativity itself." I felt a thrill of excitement mixed with unease. What did he mean by the essence of creativity? The auctioneer continued, unveiling the canvas that had captivated my attention. The painting depicted a hauntingly beautiful landscape, with swirling clouds and a vibrant sunset that seemed to pulse with life. But there was something unsettling about it, a darkness lurking just beneath the surface. "This piece," the auctioneer announced, "is titled Elysium's Descent. It was created by a reclusive artist who vanished under mysterious circumstances shortly after its completion. It is said that the painting holds a piece of his soul, and those who possess it will be granted unparalleled inspiration." A murmur of intrigue rippled through the crowd. I felt a strange compulsion to bid, as if the painting were calling to me. My heart raced as the auctioneer began the bidding process. The starting price was steep, but I found myself raising my paddle, driven by an insatiable desire to own the piece. As the bids climbed higher, I could feel the tension in the room thickening. The auctioneer's eyes gleamed with excitement, and I could sense the desperation of the other bidders. It was as if the painting had a life of its own, drawing us all into its web. I raised my paddle again, my mind racing with thoughts of what it would mean to possess such a powerful work of art. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, I won the bid. The auctioneer's gavel struck the podium, and the room erupted in applause. I felt a rush of exhilaration mixed with dread as I approached the stage to claim my prize. The painting was carefully wrapped and handed to me, its weight heavy in my hands. As I left the auction house, I couldn't shake the feeling that I had crossed a threshold into a world I didn't fully understand. The painting felt alive, its colors swirling in my mind as I drove home. I could already envision the masterpieces I would create, inspired by the very essence of the artist who had poured his soul into this work. But as I hung the painting in my studio, a sense of unease settled over me. The vibrant colors seemed to shift and change, and I could almost hear whispers echoing in the corners of the room. I brushed it off as my imagination, but deep down, I knew that I had awakened something within myself, and perhaps something far more sinister. That night, as I lay in bed, I was haunted by dreams of the auction house and the painting. I saw flashes of the artist's life, moments of joy and despair intertwined. But there was a darkness that loomed over it all, a shadow that threatened to consume everything in its path. I awoke in a cold sweat, the weight of the painting pressing down on my chest. The next day, I returned to the studio, determined to channel the energy of Elysium's Descent into my own work. I set up my easel, the painting positioned prominently in front of me, its vibrant colors beckoning me to create. I felt a surge of inspiration coursing through my veins, and I picked up my brush, eager to begin. As I painted, I lost track of time. The strokes flowed effortlessly, and I felt as if I were tapping into a wellspring of creativity I had never known before. Each brushstroke seemed to resonate with the essence of the original artist, and I could almost feel his presence guiding my hand. I painted for hours, completely absorbed in the process, until the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the room. But as the light faded, so did my inspiration. I stepped back to examine my work, and a chill ran down my spine. The painting I had created was a twisted reflection of the original, dark, chaotic, and filled with anguish. The colors that had once been vibrant now seemed muted and foreboding, and I could see shadows creeping into the corners of the canvas. I shook my head, trying to dispel the unease that settled over me. "It's just a phase," I muttered to myself. "Every artist goes through this." But deep down, I knew something was wrong. The painting felt like a portal to a darkness I couldn't comprehend. That night, I decided to hang my new piece next to Elysium's Descent. As I stepped back to admire the two paintings side by side, I felt a strange energy pulsing between them. The original painting seemed to glow with an otherworldly light, while my creation appeared to absorb that light, drawing it into the shadows. I tried to shake off the feeling of dread, but it clung to me like a shroud. I went to bed, hoping that sleep would bring clarity, but instead, I was plagued by nightmares. I found myself wandering through a dark forest, the trees twisted and gnarled, their branches reaching out like skeletal hands. In the distance, I could see a flickering light, and I felt an irresistible urge to move toward it. As I approached, I realized it was a clearing filled with paintings, each one more grotesque than the last. They depicted scenes of despair, loss, and madness, and I felt a sense of horror wash over me. In the center of the clearing stood a figure, cloaked in shadows, its face obscured. I could feel its gaze piercing through me, and I knew instinctively that it was the spirit of the artist who had created Elysium's Descent. "You have taken what is not yours," the figure whispered, its voice echoing in the darkness. "You have awakened the curse." I tried to run, but the ground beneath me shifted, pulling me down into the earth. I screamed, but no sound escaped my lips. Just as I felt myself being consumed by the darkness, I jolted awake, gasping for breath. The room was dimly lit, and I could see the two paintings hanging on the wall, their colors swirling ominously. The next day, I decided to visit the auction house again, hoping to find answers. As I drove through the winding streets, I felt a sense of foreboding settle over me. The building loomed ahead, its cracked facade more menacing than I remembered. I parked and stepped inside, the musty air wrapping around me like a cold embrace. The auctioneer was there, his smile as slick as ever. "Back for more, I see," he said, his eyes glinting with something I couldn't quite place. "Did you find what you were looking for?" "I need to know more about the painting," I replied, my voice steady despite the unease churning in my stomach. "What happened to the artist?" The auctioneer's expression shifted, a flicker of something dark crossing his features. "Ah, the artist. A tragic tale, indeed. He poured his soul into that piece, but it came at a cost. He became consumed by his own creation, lost in the darkness he had unleashed." "Consumed?" I echoed, my heart racing. "What do you mean?" "He became a part of the painting," the auctioneer explained, his voice low and conspiratorial. "Those who possess it are said to be haunted by his spirit, driven to create until they, too, are lost. It is a cycle that repeats, a curse that binds the artist to the art." A chill ran down my spine as I processed his words. I had unwittingly become part of this cycle, and the darkness that had begun to seep into my own work was a reflection of the artist's torment. I felt a surge of panic. "I need to get rid of it," I said, my voice trembling. "I can't let it consume me." The auctioneer's smile widened, revealing a hint of malice. "Ah, but you see, once you possess a piece of art like Elysium's Descent, it becomes a part of you. You cannot simply rid yourself of it. The bond is forged, and the darkness will follow you wherever you go." I felt a wave of despair wash over me. The weight of the painting felt heavier than ever, as if it were a physical entity pressing down on my chest. "What can I do?" I asked, desperation creeping into my voice. "I can't let this happen to me." The auctioneer leaned closer, his voice a conspiratorial whisper. "There is a way to break the curse, but it comes with its own risks. You must confront the darkness within yourself and the spirit of the artist. Only then can you hope to sever the bond." "How?" I demanded, my heart racing. What do I need to do? You must create a new piece of art that embodies both your light and your darkness, he explained. It must be a true reflection of your soul, a piece that acknowledges the pain and the beauty within you. Only then can you hope to free yourself from the curse. I nodded, feeling a flicker of determination amidst the fear. I had to try. I had to confront the darkness that had begun to seep into my life. I left the auction house, my mind racing with thoughts of how to create this new piece. I returned to my studio, the weight of Elysium's Descent still heavy in my hands. As I stood before my easel, I felt a surge of inspiration mixed with dread. I needed to channel everything, the fear, the pain, the beauty, into this new work. I set to work, pouring my heart and soul into the canvas. The colors swirled and danced, reflecting the chaos within me. I painted late into the night, losing myself in the process. But as I painted, I could feel the presence of the original artist growing stronger. The whispers in the room became louder, and I could sense his anguish seeping into my own thoughts. I painted scenes of despair, moments of joy, and the struggle between light and darkness. The canvas became a battleground, a reflection of my own internal conflict. As dawn broke, I stepped back to examine my work. The painting was a chaotic blend of colors and emotions, a true representation of my soul. But as I looked closer, I felt a chill run down my spine. The shadows in the painting seemed to writhe and twist, and I could see the figure of the artist emerging from the depths of the canvas, his face a mask of sorrow. No. I shouted, stumbling back. I won't let you take me. The figure in the painting seemed to smile, a twisted expression that sent shivers down my spine. I could feel the darkness closing in around me, and I knew I had to finish the piece before it consumed me entirely. I picked up my brush, my hands trembling as I fought against the overwhelming urge to succumb to despair. With each stroke, I poured my heart into the painting, channeling my fears and hopes into the canvas. I painted the artist's sorrow, but I also painted my own resilience. I depicted the struggle between light and darkness, the battle for my soul. The colors clashed and blended, creating a tumultuous scene that felt alive. As I painted, I could feel the energy in the room shifting. The whispers grew louder, and I could sense the artist's spirit swirling around me, urging me to finish. I pushed through the fear, determined to create a piece that would break the curse. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, I stepped back to examine my work. The painting was a chaotic masterpiece, a true reflection of my journey. The artist's figure was still present, but now it was intertwined with my own, a symbol of our shared struggle. I felt a sense of catharsis wash over me, as if I had finally confronted the darkness that had haunted me. But just as I thought I had triumphed, the room grew cold, and the shadows began to close in again. I could feel the weight of the original painting pressing down on me, and I knew that the curse was not yet broken. The auctioneer's words echoed in my mind, "You must confront the darkness within yourself." I took a deep breath, steeling myself for what was to come. I had to face the artist's spirit, to acknowledge the pain and sorrow that had consumed him. I approached the painting, my heart racing as I reached out to touch the canvas. As my fingers brushed against the surface, the room erupted in a blinding light. I was pulled into the painting, the world around me dissolving into a whirlwind of color and chaos. I found myself standing in the clearing from my nightmares, surrounded by the grotesque paintings that had haunted my dreams. The figure of the artist stood before me, cloaked in shadows, his face still obscured. The air was thick with tension, and I could feel the weight of his sorrow pressing down on me. I had entered his realm, a place where the boundaries between our souls blurred, and I knew I had to confront him if I ever hoped to break the curse. "You have come," the figure said, his voice echoing like a distant thunder. "You think you can free yourself from the darkness? You think you can escape the pain I have endured?" I took a step forward, my heart pounding in my chest. "I don't want to escape your pain. I want to understand it. I want to help you find peace." The artist's laughter was hollow, reverberating through the clearing. "Peace? There is no peace for me. I am bound to this place, trapped within my own creation. You, too, will become a part of it if you do not turn back now. I refuse to be consumed by this darkness." I shouted, my voice rising above the cacophony of whispers that surrounded us. "I have faced my fears, and I will not let them take me." The shadows around us writhed and twisted, and I could see the grotesque paintings in the clearing come to life, their figures reaching out with desperate hands. They were the manifestations of the artist's pain, and I could feel their anguish resonating within me. I had to confront this darkness, not just for myself, but for him as well. "You are not alone," I said, my voice steady despite the fear coursing through me. "I understand your pain. I have felt it too. But we can't let it define us. We can create something beautiful from this suffering." The artist's figure hesitated, the shadows flickering around him. "You think you can change what I have become? You think you can save me?" "I believe we can save each other," I replied, feeling a surge of determination. "Let me help you find the light within the darkness. Together, we can break this curse." As I spoke, I reached out my hand, willing him to take it. The shadows around us began to swirl, and I could feel the energy shifting. The artist's figure stepped closer, and for the first time, I could see his face, a mixture of anguish and longing, a reflection of the torment that had consumed him. "Do you truly believe that we can create something new?" he asked, his voice softer now, tinged with vulnerability. "Yes," I said, my heart racing. "We can create a new masterpiece, one that honors both our struggles and our triumphs. We can transform this pain into something beautiful." The artist's expression shifted, and I could see a flicker of hope in his eyes. "Then let us create together." With that, the clearing transformed around us. The grotesque paintings faded, replaced by a blank canvas that stretched endlessly into the horizon. I felt the energy between us crackle with potential, and I knew that this was our chance to break free from the darkness. We began to paint, our hands moving in unison as we poured our souls into the canvas. The colors swirled and danced, a vibrant tapestry of emotions that reflected our shared journey. I felt the weight of the darkness lifting as we created, the shadows receding in the face of our combined light. As we painted, I could feel the artist's spirit merging with mine, our energies intertwining. I could see flashes of his life, the joy of creation, the pain of loss, the struggle for recognition. But now, those memories were infused with hope, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. With each stroke, we transformed the canvas into a breathtaking masterpiece, a celebration of both our light and our darkness. The colors shimmered and glowed, radiating warmth and life. I could feel the curse beginning to unravel, the bond that had once chained us to despair slowly dissolving. But just as we reached the final strokes, a chilling wind swept through the clearing, and the shadows began to rise again. The auctioneer's voice echoed in the distance, a reminder of the darkness that still lingered. "You cannot escape your fate. The curse will always find a way back." I felt a surge of panic, but the artist's spirit steadied me. "We must finish this," he urged, his voice filled with determination. "We must complete the painting to break the curse once and for all." With renewed resolve, we poured every ounce of our energy into the final strokes. The canvas pulsed with life, and I could feel the darkness retreating, the shadows dissipating in the face of our creation. As we completed the last detail, a brilliant light erupted from the painting, engulfing us in its warmth. In that moment, I felt a profound sense of release. The bond that had once chained us to despair shattered, and I could feel the weight of the darkness lifting from my shoulders. The clearing around us began to dissolve, the grotesque paintings fading into nothingness as the light enveloped us. I could sense the artist's spirit transforming, his anguish giving way to peace. As the light intensified, I felt a warmth spreading through me, filling the void that had once been occupied by fear and despair. The artist stood beside me, his form becoming more defined, the shadows that had clung to him dissipating like mist in the morning sun. "Thank you," he whispered, his voice now filled with gratitude. "You have freed me from my torment. Together, we have created something beautiful." The light swirled around us, and I felt a sense of connection to him, a bond forged through our shared struggle. "We did this together," I replied, my heart swelling with emotion. "You are no longer alone." As the last remnants of darkness faded, I found myself back in my studio, the morning sun streaming through the windows. The two paintings hung on the wall, but now they felt different. Elysium's Descent radiated a sense of calm, its colors vibrant and alive, while my own creation stood beside it, a testament to our journey, a celebration of both light and darkness. I stepped closer to the new painting, feeling a sense of pride and accomplishment. It was a true reflection of my soul, a piece that acknowledged the pain I had faced while also embracing the beauty of resilience. I could see the artist's spirit within it, a reminder of the bond we had forged. But as I turned to leave the studio, I noticed something strange. The auctioneer's voice echoed in my mind, a lingering reminder of the darkness that had once threatened to consume me. "The curse will always find a way back." I shook my head, refusing to let fear take hold. I had faced the darkness and emerged stronger. I had created something beautiful, and I would continue to do so. The journey of an artist was never easy, but I now understood that it was the struggle that made the creation worthwhile. With renewed determination, I picked up my brush and began to paint again, the colors swirling on the canvas as I poured my heart into my work. I knew that the darkness would always be a part of me, but it no longer held power over my soul. I was free to create, to explore the depths of my emotions, and to embrace the light that emerged from the shadows. As I painted, I felt a sense of peace wash over me. The artist's spirit lingered in the room, a silent guardian watching over my journey. I knew that I would carry his memory with me, a reminder of the power of creation and the strength that comes from facing one's fears. And so, I continued to paint, each stroke a testament to the beauty that can arise from darkness, each canvas a reflection of the journey we had shared. The last auction had changed my life, but it had also given me the gift of understanding, the understanding that art is not just a reflection of the world, but a powerful force that can heal, transform, and ultimately set us free.